your heart so jaded? You're holding back, but I know we'll make it. Yeah, I know we'll make it. Yeah, I know we'll make it. We'll make it. We'll make it. Yeah, I know. got a hold on me. You got a hold on me. Welcome to the live stream. Hang on. Let me turn the music. There we go. Tonight we switched it up. We got a new mix. Let me just see, how's the sound? Yeah, it looks good. How does it work for you guys? How is the sound? Can you hear me properly? Let me just check the chat here. What do we have? PK and Knights and Steven and Demar, Daniel, Elise, Guido and Ryan, Martin. Welcome, guys. Oh, now it's funny. It's funny. We have people who think the music is too loud, and then people probably think it's too low. Depends how much you like my voice, I think. All right, welcome, guys. We're gonna talk about a lot of things tonight. We're gonna talk about this new update that we're gonna launch tonight, and we're also gonna have a look at, you know, I don't really know what it is. Like, I'm not entirely sure what's going on.
London.
I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but yeah, I don't know what's going on with this. Yeah, this new build. Yeah. How do I make this bigger? I mean, this is 10K to 33K on one market. I don't even know what's going on. But it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. And if this is any indication of what is to come, we're all going to be very, very rich. All right, guys. So we'll just wait for a little bit more people to tune in, but we're doing it again tonight. We're doing it again tonight. All right, empty piece of paper. Hang on. Just put this. Some new tech. Yeah, we're getting new tech. New tech for sure. All right, let's have a look at this new tech. So,
London.
It's a good mix tonight. So what can I say about this? I mean, this is almost like a rewritten client of Neo Agent. I haven't done it, but another one on our team have, and I mean, I don't really fully understand how it's able to go from $10,000 to $33,000. I mean, the drawdown is, you know, is what it is because the risk is so high, but still the expected payoff and like the profit factor, the Sharpe ratio, and all of this is really nice. And I genuinely believe once we really have like fixed like the cornerstones of Neural Agent, like the core fundamentals that make the whole thing work, right? Like, so you can call it a stable loop, a stable orbit, okay? I fundamentally believe once we have achieved this stable orbit and we start working on like improvements, like improving the overall money it can make and not just focusing about the architecture of running the system, right? Once we start focusing on this area, I really think there is somewhere between 10x to 1,000x improvement that we can reach. I think we are like in a very, I think we cracked it, and I think we're just figuring out right now, like, oh wow, it's like wide open, the whole thing. Financial markets, you know, it's like it becomes very predictable. And the reason it becomes very predictable is because at the end of it, at the end of all financial markets, actually not just financial markets, at the end of everything in the universe is something called error correcting code, universal code, entropy. Do you understand? It's the whole universe, the system we live in, our experience, everything that is here. It's a simulation, but it's a really good simulation. It's a really good simulation. I don't complain at all. But the point is that it is a simulation, right? And when it's a simulation and you figure out you can crack it, and the only reason I figured this stuff out, the only reason I figured all this stuff out is because once we start diving into the neural model and you really go deep into the data and you look at it, you can't explain this stuff. Like you literally cannot explain it unless it was because it's a simulation. It's that simple. And we're getting very close to cracking it. So that's the fun part. Okay, so what are we working on? Well, we're working on a new build of Neural Agent 2.0. And before we finish this build, we're gonna, of course, launch some updates in between. But what is the main function of Neural Agent 2.0? It is really to reduce the need for people to use HITL, right? So the goal is really that you're not gonna have to click any buttons. You don't have to think about when it's a good time to engage. You don't have to think about when it's a good time to disengage. You don't do anything. You don't click any buttons. You just go enjoy your life. So that is the goal of Neural Agent 2.0. And to do that, we had to identify what was the problems in the existing version. What's holding us back? Because we can see it works. We just wish it could make a little bit more money, right? It's like, I just wish it could make a little bit more than make. I mean, 1% a day is good. 0.5% a day is also good, but we just wish it could do a little bit more, right? And it can. And the way to do this is to reduce risk exposure, because what we want is that we want to essentially increase position sizes, right? We want to crank up the position sizes, but you cannot just crank up position sizes, because when you crank up position sizes, the whole inherent system that it runs on increases its risk. And the problem is when we are taking risk. And at any given point when we are running this system, we need to be able to essentially, let me see if we can find a good example here. We need to be able to survive all the way to hold the trade all the way to the 4 hour and holding that inventory, okay? And if you take too much risk, you can't hold the inventory because you gotta hold it all the way to 4 hour. So what is the point? The point is that we don't have to hold it all the way to the 4 hour, right? we actually found a way to determine whether this thing is going to go deep or not. Like whether this is going to be a small, a small pullback like here and here, right? Like whether it's going to be that, or it's going to be something more like, like this here, where it just does it, very aggressive dive. So we figured this out, and that's what we're applying. So once we have reduced the overall risk and we don't have to survive the drawdown to 4 hour, it means we can pump up the position sizes. And if we can pump up the position sizes, and we are right now making like 1% a day, I mean, if we can even get to stable 2% or 3%, it's just crazy. It's just that in the day, it doesn't look amazing, like, 1% a day, but when you stack it up over a long enough time, it's really good. So I'll show you my own personal trading account that I have going on. I'll show you also what I am dealing with. So first of all, these are my results for the past weeks, and I started this account just around like early August, so we had a pretty bad overall period. And of course, this is not just the default version running. This is, what can I say, my own experimental version that's improved to the best degree that I think we can do it, right? But again, if I'm wrong about what I think and the improvements, I'm also the one who has to bear it. Now I'll show you an example of what I've been dealing with for the past weeks, because I've been stuck just like many others in these deep trades sometimes, and it happens. And it's been a really good period to really figure out how do we deal with this stuff, right? So I have these deep silver positions that I've held since here. And originally the stop loss was here, but I'll tell you my reasoning why I was willing to hold this, much further than you initially would. Because when we go look at this new update that we're deploying tonight, you'll see we have this new trend index that has basically comprised all the different time frames. I now call them frequency. Have now comprised these into 3 groups, 3 states, which is macro, micro, and local. And if we extend this, you can do this by clicking here, frequency states, and you can see the whole thing. You can see that we now have the 10 year, the 1 year, the 1 month. And then we have the 1 day, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, 15 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute, and the driver. And when we go look at silver, and we look at what is this actually doing, when we look at this is actually doing, we can see that overall long-term 10-year trend good, 1 year trend good. I mean, this is silver against the dollar, the biggest fiat shitcoin in the world against actual metal. So when I look at this, it actually doesn't look bad to me. Like I took this entire drawdown here, but overall the long-term trend is good. So what is the essence here? Well, the essence here is that as long as we're trading with these markets that has 10-year history, 1 year history, and so on, of energy flowing into the market in a specific direction over a long time, multiple years, where we're very, very confident of where it's heading. When we get into these positions where we get stuck, we can essentially turn these in. We can essentially turn these positions into long-term investments. We can carry the inventory. I mean, not long-term investments. We can carry it because there's an underlying fundamental need for this asset, and it's going the right direction. Now, if it's not going the right direction and we're stuck in the wrong direction, you can't do this because you're just gonna get wiped out. So that's like the main focus of this update. Not only are we adding, not only have we changed the trend index and we have added all these states for the individual frequencies and time frames, we are also aligning the model with the long-term time frames to make sure that this is the only direction that we trade. All right, so this is you know, there's some small stuff and so on around this, like some small user experience improvements as well. You can right click here, you can enable HITL, you can view analysis, you can view the chart. You can now double click on a single item and it will open our analysis window where you can see this. And that means also if you just click down here, it will just change the window. It's not going to change the state. So that means now you can switch between markets without having to open the analysis state. I think that's pretty nice. You can enable HITL and view the chart. So these are just like options for you to use. Now we have removed this select, this lock, unlock. We have changed this into, instead you just click here now. So if you want to deploy on CAT JPY, you just click here, right? So you just find a market that looks decent, aligned across all the time frames, and we can trade it like here. So you just click it and you will see like a white, you will see like a white square starting to turn around down here. And that means that it's basically booting. Okay, it's like engaging, and then very soon it's gonna change. All right, it should change into yellow. And if this is not a HITL market, then it will run by default when, and you will see this when it's blue. And I'll take questions and we'll do numbers in a second, guys. Okay, but just want you to get this. So GBP CHF, we turned this on. It should switch. In a moment. There we go. So now you can see. Now you can see it turned to yellow, and it has this square turning around. And that now means that this market is engaged. And HITL is running on it. So I can now disengage it. I can click on it again. You can see it turns blue, which is just like a temporary state until it's confirmed off, and then it will go fully away. So yeah, that's it. That's how it works, this new one. You just click here and it will turn on and off. So hopefully that will help make everything a little bit more simple. Let me see. That's about it for, let me think. Yeah, that's about it. That is about it. So what is like the overall goal from this is just to allow you guys, like this, honestly, we're not really supposed to release this, but I think it will help you guys. So now it should help you understand much better the long-term trends and to make sure the alignment with the lower-term, short-term trends also matches. It should help you find the direction and know where to go, know what to do. Of course, the whole goal of doing this is to build it into the model so you don't have to click anything or do anything. That's the whole goal of everything we're doing. Okay, let me check the questions and let's do the numbers, okay? Let's do the numbers. Okay, what we're gonna do tonight? Well, guys, if you would like to win 1 month access to Neo Agent, you need to guess the number that I'm gonna write down on this piece of paper. So what am I gonna write down tonight? I think we're gonna write down London. It's gonna be a number between 1 and 1,000. All right, written down a number here on this piece of paper, guys. Okay, I'm putting this aside. What I can say about this number from 1 to 1,000, guys, remember you only get one chance to guess it. But what I can say about this number is that it's a positive number. It's a universal number between 1 and 1,000. All right. So let me just put this in the chat. Guess the number I wrote down on a piece of paper to win 1 month access to Neural Agent. Okay. Very well. Everyone right now is just on Google and Googling positive universal number between 1 and 1,000. Let me see if anyone is getting it yet. Is anyone getting it yet? I don't think so. I mean, I can't really. Let me see. What is people writing? We got 42, 963, 9, 618, 312. Okay, well, I'm not gonna tell if it's any of these. I'm not gonna tell you if it's any of these numbers, guys, but oh yeah. Okay, so let me see. I think there were some questions in the beginning of the chat that I didn't guess. I see a lot of numbers coming in. I don't think I've seen the exact number yet. I don't think I've seen the exact number yet. I've seen some a little bit close. So yeah, good luck figuring that out. And by the way, if you already have a Neural Agent subscription, you can give it to your friend or you can add it to your own account, whatever you want. All right. So let me just check the chat in the beginning what we had some questions here. Let me see. Robert Hartman, hang on. Robert Hartman, should I move my TP with the new neutral position or should I leave my TP at the position with the neutral point when I took the initial trade? So Robert, I think you are referring to the neural mode, the manual strategy, and you need to constantly update. If you're doing it manually, you need to constantly update the TP for the neural point that it updates to. Okay, so as it moves, this is 1 minute. As this neutral here moves down, you keep updating your order so it matches, right? Hello, Alec. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're still in the chat, in the stream. Ryan says he can't wait for 100% hands off. I agree. I can also not wait for that. Tab says experienced first stop loss since deployed Neural Agent 3 days ago. That's not so bad. I mean, we have a lot of people that's using HITL and it works good. It's just a problem when you get a little, you can get a little bit lazy or forgetful and then you just leave it on and then you're not watching as the market starts to transition and then you come back and oh, it's already in a downtrend. That's what we're trying to fix with this next update, this 2.0 update, right? Okay. Tam asks, how do we make 1% a day? My setting is 1% in 16 trading days. How do you make 1% a day? Well, first of all, you need the markets to be somewhat active. And actually here for the first 2 weeks of September, we had some pretty good markets that people have been trading. And you just need more markets to trade at the same time and you will get the same results. You can try to increase the risk. There's several ways you can go about it, but yeah, that's it. Okay, and then we have a bunch of numbers. Very well, guys. Let me see. All right, All right, there's some pretty good numbers coming in. I'm not gonna, you know. So, I wanted to also try something else here on these back tests. Very deep drawdown. Interesting. So this is what we're trying to fix, right? Like we don't really want to hold this whole period. Why don't we want to hold this period? Because when we have to hold drawdown this much, it means that we can't increase the position sizes during these times where we're making a lot of money. Because if we increase the position sizes here, we would not be able to survive the drawdowns when they came. So this is what we're fixing with the tail strategy, is basically essentially bridging this, meaning that we won't have these deep drawdowns, and it will allow us to take higher position size and we can make a lot more money. A lot. I really think once we crack this thing, once we're done with this thing, it's just gonna be ridiculous in the beginning. All right, so guys, if you're just tuning in to the live stream right now, don't forget to put a number in the chat between 1 and 1,000, and if you guess the number that I wrote down on this piece of paper, you'll get one access to Neural Agent, or you can give a pass to your friend or something like this. Let's see. Questions. Do I recommend FTMO? I don't recommend any prop firm. Let's talk about these prop firms, okay? When you buy a 100K prop firm account, you're not getting a 100K trading account. You're not even getting a 10K trading account. You're getting a $500 trading account. Like the reason you're only getting a $500 trading account is because when you buy a 100K account, they let you like draw down 10% of the account before they stop you out or something, right? So you can lose 10% of the account until they stop you out. So that means you can only lose $10,000 of the 100K account, and that's just maximum loss, okay? Then you have to think about, you also have to pass it and survive all the rules. That's very hard to do. And even after you make it one time, you have to do it again and one more time. So by the time you actually you look at the probability and what your money is worth when you buy, you use $500 to buy a 100K prop firm account. By the time that you pay that $500 for the prop firm account, your money's gone. You just don't understand it. Like you don't understand it. And I don't blame you, because this prop firm industry and the way they market and the way the whole thing works, it's like people wouldn't understand it. It's fraud. I really think it is. They're deceiving people. So I strongly suggest stop buying the funding accounts. For God's sake, stop buying the fucking funding. Stop buying the funding accounts, guys. Okay, like just stop buying the goddamn fucking fund. Okay, so it's just don't. Just take your $500 and save it up for another $500 and go trade Neural with it. Okay, Neural mode for free. Just do that. You'll be so much better off. All right, let me get back to other questions. Is there a rough time estimate on the 2.0 release? Yeah, so I think we're gonna have a 2.0 release roughly soon, this year, before December. That's the best I can do. Before December, all right? P asked, how long would you be ready to wait? And I guess he's referring to my my silver trade here. How long would I be willing to wait? It's a good question. I mean, I don't think there's really a problem in waiting. I think first of all we need to understand this should not happen. This is the same problem everyone else has. Okay, it's a trend that fades, and you're not disengaging HITL in time. It's okay, but it's your own mistake, right? You should be watching this. The signs were there. If you actually looked at what was happening, it was very easy to see it. Something like this was gonna happen. So the first thing is it shouldn't even happen. But now that we are in this situation, how long are we willing to wait? Well, I don't care. If this thing has like a 10-year history, if this thing has a 10-year history and I need to wait 1 month or 2 months to recoup, it's fine. It doesn't matter because long-term energy is flowing into the market. If it was the opposite scenario where long-term energy was flowing out of it and I was long, I would just cut it. I wouldn't even bother with it. But in this case, I'm perfectly fine holding this trade for another 3 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever it takes. But I don't think it's gonna take that long. I'm actually very bullish. I'm very bullish on gold, silver, metals, oil, Bitcoin, anything against the US dollar. I'm very bullish on it. Okay, I think it's gonna do good. So this is not really a problem. And one of the most important things is that while we sit in drawdown, we can still make money, right? Like this is not like traditional when you're trading. It's like one trade takes your whole focus. You can't do anything at the same time while you're stuck in some trade. Also, you have to worry about margin, have to make sure you have enough margin to maintain the position and so on. So this is where it really helps to have like an account of $3,000, $5,000, or $10,000, $100,000, because you can carry this inventory and you can still make money at the same time. And you can actually see during this whole time where I've been sitting in this position, I actually have made the same amount of money that I'm right now in drawdown. And it also, during that time, it has also reversed its direction. So it's not really so bad. It's not so bad. It's not like I'm low on capital in this account. It's not like I'm low on margin. I have plenty of margin, right? So I can take plenty of trades. So one thing we're doing in 2.0 is that we're also making sure that all trades, the stop loss of those trades will continue to be updated. So whenever we have, let me see if I can find a so whenever we have this 4-hour stop loss that keep moving down, right now when it gets too weak, we stop updating the stop loss and we just kind of accept the loss at the current stop loss. We don't take any more risk. But like I'm saying, with this new realignment of the long-term trends and the short-term trends and what we're doing, it doesn't really make sense to take a loss unless it's like a black swan event where it just collapses completely. So we really only want to take a loss when the market starts to do like black swan events, meaning it hits the 4-hour, right? Not here, but as it keeps moving down, it pushes into the 4-hour. This really only happens on high volatility, highly volatile markets like Bitcoin and so on. So yeah, not so bad. Not so bad at all. I'm pretty happy with this, honestly. I think we're doing really well. Of course, there's some limits to be tested, and people are testing these limits, and they're figuring out, what they can do, what they can get away with, what they cannot get away with. Monty's learning about this for sure. And that's fine. It's all a process, right? Some people are very sorry about that. Some people are very happy with 1% a day or 0.5% a day. Some people want more. It usually depends on how much capital you're working with. Like if you have $100,000 and you can make 1% on that a day, that's a good life. It's not a bad life, you know? Okay, let me check the questions here. Any update on the MT4 release? Well, MT4, it's not so much a priority for us right now. And the reason for that is because 95% of our users are using MT5. So to spend 2 weeks or 3 weeks on making the MT4 build, it's much better to spend 3 or 4 weeks on 95% of our user base instead. So MT4 will come sometime in the future when it really makes sense for us to take care of it. It's not that it's impossible, it's just that it's unnecessary right now for most people. David asks, I don't understand how you're achieving the returns you are achieving. I am achieving nothing like that. Well, I mean, maybe it has something to do. Maybe it has something to do with that I created this thing and cracked the algorithm on this. And I have just a little bit better idea what you can get away with, when you need to disengage, when it's, you know, when you can increase risk, when you need to decrease risk, and so on, right? So David is saying, I was trading for 2 weeks and did okay, about 3% on my 28K account, and then I had my stop loss hit on USD cap and $500 my capital. Yeah, well, David, you know, what I can say is this is early tech, and if you go look, I think everyone hit stop loss with USD cap that had it open. But the whole point is that could we have avoided this trade? Could we have avoided this trade? Absolutely. Like it was not hard to tell that this was a bad trade. Okay, so let's go have a look. Okay, let's go have a look. I'll tell you how you could tell this. Okay. Alright guys, so have a look at this. So, do you remember Newton's law that for every reaction there's an opposite reaction? It's the same fundamentally. Whenever we have a drive that has done as it has here, in the end of this drive, the strength will start to weaken out. And as this strength starts to weaken out, it starts to spill over into the 1 hour, 4 hour, the 1 day time frame. Also what I call the micro group, okay? And if we actually study here, and we'll do it here, okay? If you actually study it, you can actually see the very moment when the energy starts to leave the market. And I wanna make a principle very clear for people here tonight, just so everyone understands. In these entropy systems, just like financial markets are, and each individual market, in these systems, they become predictable when energy comes into the market, and they become unpredictable when the energy goes out of the market. Okay, so when we have when we have a trend like this, it's because during this time we have a consistent energy that's going into the market, and we can measure this. This is what we do. We measure this in real time. We measure all the trading algorithms, the buying and the selling, their behavior and what they do. And as the energy is coming into the market strong, and we can measure basically the counter you know, the wind resistance. That's a good way to put it. As we can measure the wind resistance to the new energy coming in the market, we can determine how it's going to go. And as that resistance starts to increase, and as the energy flowing into the market starts to decrease, we can also say when it's going to end. And not only can we say what's going to end, we can also say what's going to happen next. Because it turns out that financial markets, well, I don't think it's just financial markets, I think it's everything. It turns out that financial markets basically run in a circle. Okay? They go from basically a drive into a capitulation state, which is here, into a tail. And from the tail, it will either start a new drive or it will start a counter drive. So what is the difference? Well, a drive, it goes up with the existing way, and a counter drive goes the opposite way. It works against the trend. And based on how much energy has flowing into the system over time, we can measure how much it's really gonna pull back. This is just like simple trading stuff as well. This is why when people have been using Fibonacci retracements in the past, they're like, oh wow, this really works. Why? And people really never understood why. And it's actually very simple. It's just entropy. What happened to this lovely mix? Here we go. We'll run it again. So let's have a look at when could we actually recognize that USD CAD was going to collapse here. When could we actually see it? Okay, so pay attention. So we have this. Let me just see here. Here we have. So this is September 2022. So this is all the way back from here basically. Okay, so this drive that you see here is this 1 year trend here. All right, so we're just starting from the very the first out, and it's the same one that you can also see here. Let me just have a look. Actually, this is not the same one. So inside this 1 year trend that you have here, we have multiple trends that exist inside. This is what you will find on the monthly. So you see here, we have a peak here on 28/6, the 30th of June, which is here, right? So we have this peak here. And from this very peak, we go into capitulation, and then we go into a tail. So we know when the market peaks, and we also know what comes after. And then we know the individual frequencies that it's going to interact with and how much energy they store. Okay, so let's go one step further down. So now we understand that right now, at this time when we were here, which was the 6th September, at the very top here, this period, right, the capitulation phase. That is the same phase. That peak to top is the same that you see from here to here. All right. And as we go one step further down, you'll be able to see how we have an even closer look at this. Let's see, this trend here from the 8, this move here. All right. So now you're seeing this 1 day move you see here is the same move as you saw here, right? And as we go one step further down, you will see that this 4-hour move that you're seeing here was actually this move, was also this move, but it's also showing you just where it changed here, all right? And this, this happens all the way down through all the time frames. So what it allows us to do is that when fresh energy comes in, okay, this is the point, so please pay attention. When fresh energy comes in the very end of a late trend like we have here, we can basically look to the higher time frames and determine how much energy do we have stored here. And when I mean energy, I really mean mean reversion. And based on how much is stored on the higher time frames, we can determine when this counter drive happens here, this tail, counter drive, whatever you want to call it. When this happens, we're gonna know just how much wind resistance that's gonna be to this move. And once we can see that the wind resistance it's gonna have when the counter drive shows up this time, or the tail shows up this time. When we already know that the higher time frames are weak and the new energy coming in is strong, we are done, we are out, we stop trading, we disengage, or you hedge your positions. We just finished, okay? Why? Because the entropy of the market itself is now spreading out, just like entropy does, okay? So we had core energy coming in, has now been spread across the market, and now the core energy is fading. And what that means is that all that energy has been spread is gonna have, you know, an opposite reaction. That's what comes out here. So we can look here at the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 15 minute. So you can see the 15 minute here switched, this would be just here 11th September. So right here, okay, on this very candle here, where we're technically we're almost still in the trend, all right? You can see that the basically the 1 minute, 5 minute, and the 15 minute is coming out of its drive position where we're in full drive, and essentially flips. So now we've gone into a new state. We've gone from a full drive mode where everything is good and we can make our money, everything is fine. We're going into now as a state that's much less predictable. Because not only is the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute flipping, but when you actually look at this flip at the same time as you look at what is the 1 hour doing, right? So we look here, we have the flip right here around 6:30, 11th September, right? So when we go look 6:30, 11th September, roughly here, you can see that the value of the 1 hour strength is 7%. 7. Not only is it 7%, it's in tail. Do you understand? It's not in drive, it's in tail. It's not here, right? It's not happening here, it's not happening here, it's happening here. So what is the conclusion? The conclusion is that we could see, based on the 1 hour, at the exact time when the market was here, that this thing was going to collapse. How did we know it was going to collapse? Because the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 15 minute, the local group, the new energy coming into the system was so strong that it was gonna overthrow the 1 hour. And when this happens, and you have so much energy that's been stored inside the system, that's exactly the time where you start getting these big, these big candles that does major moves. Why? Because everyone that makes money in this fucking market is using the same strategy. So we're all seeing the same thing. We're all seeing the switch. We're all seeing the energy at the same time. But some of the people that operate the same strategy as we're doing, they're dealing with much larger positions than we are. Okay, like they have $100 million positions, $500 million positions they need to handle, and we don't. This is our advantage. We are small, we're agile, we're quick, and we don't have to worry about liquidity in the market because we trade so small. Even if you have $1 million, you're still a small fish. Like, it's not a problem with $1 million. Maybe $10 million, you will start to have some impact, So, I hope this makes sense. Do you understand? I hope this make a little bit sense. But based on what happened here, the 11th September, we were able to tell the new incoming energy was basically going to overthrow the existing system. And how do we know this? Because we can read the existing states of all the different frequencies at the same time. We know exactly what is happening across everything. And we know also what is the next macro move based on what this thing has been doing for 1.5 months. Okay? Yeah? All right, guys. It turns out it's actually very predictable. It's actually super predictable. Not only is it predictable, we haven't even put in our best technology yet, okay? Like once once we enable our machine learning forecasting technology that we cracked in May, once we put this thing inside the model and we start basically sending future data to the model before it even happens, oh my god, you're not gonna believe how much fucking money this thing prints. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I think we're getting really good results, and I think we're at a very early stage, and we're seeing like really good results, and that is telling us that we got it, right? We're on the right track. This is the way, right? So we're just gonna keep working on it. We're just gonna keep making it better. We're just gonna keep making it better. Oh wow, I've been just rapping for 50 minutes. Guys, don't forget to measure, don't forget to put in a number in the chat of what you think is gonna happen. I mean, what do you think is, I wrote down, universal number between 1 and 1,000. Okay. If you guys have any questions to what I just said, feel free to pop them in. I'm happy to take some questions. Let me see, have I missed anything? A says it's starting to make sense. That's good. George says what is actually in the back end side of the app? High level tech stack. What is on the back end of Breakfree Trading? Alien technology. Alien technology. It's the best way I can put it. All right. Alien technology. Alien technology from the future. So, Tam says, looking forward to see the ML prediction model in action. Yes, I agree. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. All right, so let me think. Yeah, David, I agree. I agree. I think we can definitely put out a little bit better material. But the whole goal was really that you don't have to do anything. Right, like the whole goal was really you don't have to click any buttons, and I think we're getting close. I think we're getting close. And do you really need training if you don't have to click any buttons? I'm not sure, but I do agree we could do a little bit better job on training. The thing is that this changes like on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. Like the people who's been watching here since, you know, months, years, they know who they are. People like PK, they seen it from the very beginning, you know. And right now, because of the technology that's come out, we're able to speed up the development massively. And it just means like the training I did like 1 month ago is almost irrelevant. But yeah, I understand, and we'll see what we can do about it. I think mainly the point here is understanding HITL, engaging and disengaging. Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry. I didn't know you're still watching here tonight. Alec and Daniel Delutsu, long-term supporters, OGs. So, okay, so about this update I've been talking about here tonight, yeah, we're gonna ship it out tonight. We'll have access to it tonight. And by the way, guys, if you don't have one of these, get yourself a pyramid quartz crystal, okay? Pyramid quartz crystal, get it, okay? It's will change your life. Damn, I didn't realize. I mean, guys, you know, it's a little bit hard for me to always understand the names because you guys change names so much and you have different names in the chat and in the YouTube and so on. But I know that we have a bunch of people here that's been with us for a very long time. Deeply appreciate it. And I hope, you know, I hope you can see what it is that we're doing. Like, okay, great. You know, it's going to be fun to get rich. Yay. But money only gets you so far. I think what you guys should really think about is that you have helped human salvation, right? And I'm not saying this in like some glorified way. I genuinely believe it. I know for a fact these financial markets are being used to farm humans across the whole planet. All right, so let's talk a little bit alien stuff. We're done with this tech stuff. You're gonna give me 5 minutes of alien stuff, guys. This is not financial. The whole financial industry, the financial markets, the whole thing. Okay, stock trading, forex trading, crypto trading, binary options, any kind of options, any kind of any fucking trading shit. It's literally a complete complex machine, an industry designed out of the evil center of the goddamn planet, United Kingdom, that have put up this fucking financial industry that uses all these different ways with influencers and scams and prop firms and fucking bullshit to attract people all over the whole world. And the worst part is that the people being targeted for this stuff is the people that have existing lives that they hate and they want to break free from, that they build up so much energy in their life that they suddenly, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna take action, I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna change my life, this is gonna be a new direction for me. They go out and they like, okay, trading, I'm gonna get rich from this. My friend, you know, he always talks about how much money and they get involved. And as they get involved, some of the first things that happens to the beginners that start trading is that they somehow get a big win. Somehow they make money, more money than they have ever made so quickly before in their life, and suddenly they're hooked. Because everything that they have heard about trading suddenly is true. Everything that their friends told them that trading was gonna make them free, that the gurus told them and so on, suddenly this thing is implanted in their goddamn mind like a holographic fucking insert by an alien bioweapon that makes them believe for the rest of their life that the way for them to make money when they struggle the most is to go to financial market. Once this fucking idea, this seed has been planted in the mind of any person, they are fucking wrecked. It's just a matter of time. It doesn't matter if it's 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. They will get absolutely fucking destroyed by these markets. This is the facts. This is the truth, okay? This is the truth. You cannot refute this. Anyone that want to refute it, you send it to me. Show me your goddamn results. Show me your full fucking trading history. And no one is willing to do that, because in the end, the net results that 99.9% of the people make is not just financial devastating to their life. It's specifically designed to put you in the deepest fucking pit that Satan has designed for you. Okay, this is a state of constant low vibration that makes your life a fucking living hell. And as you get addicted to trading and gambling and all this shit, you also start doing a lot of other things, because your own morale, your own perspective of yourself as a person changes, and your standards goes out the windows, because you know the truth inside, but you haven't told your friends. You know the truth inside, and everything just starts to fade for you. And this is when you start operating at an extremely low frequency as a person. Okay, do you understand? Your actual frequency that you operate at on a personal, your brain waves, the energy that you actually shine, that comes from you, that goes out in the world that you can't even see. You come into like a 200, 150, 50 hertz mode, and you're literally inviting fucking possessions into yourself. Okay, that's That's why when people first get like into drinking or gambling or any of these bad things, everything starts to get worse and worse and worse for these people. And it's not the person's fault. It's that they're literally demonic fucking alien possession shit that comes into their life and takes control of them. This is what we're here to fight. Okay? Money is great, guys. But at the end of the fucking day, like, do you want to be rich or do you want to be wealthy? Do you want to be rich or do you want to be happy? Do you want to be fulfilled or do you want to be a materialistic person that chases money forever in his life? The second you stop chasing money is the second that money starts coming to you. All right. So that's the alien rant. Now it's time for the number. All right, friends. So before we leave for tonight, I'm happy to announce the number of tonight. Can you see this? What is that? What does it say? 369, baby. All right, 369. Why is 369 such important numbers? 369s, 3 and 6 and 9. Each of them are universal error correcting code that operates on a soul level, on a consciousness level. All right. So that's why 369 is so amazing. So let me see. Do we have anyone tonight that throws 369? Let me have a look. I saw some get pretty close. Tam Johnson got it, right? And what? Oh, did he just cheat my? No, he didn't get it. He just cheated me with his. But 6876 did get it. 6876. Send me a message on Telegram I'll put my Telegram here in the chat. Send me a message. And we'll take care of you. You'll get a one-to-one access to Neo Agent, or you get a pass you can give to a friend, or when you're ready to start trading. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure tonight. Thank you all for coming tonight. I hope you will enjoy the new update we're rolling out. And yeah, I know that, oh yeah, we have some new plans coming. They will be out very soon, very soon, very short, okay? So guys, thanks for coming to the live stream. I'll see you all next week. Try to keep your vibrations high, okay? I just want to show you something. I want to show you something. Hang on. All right, here we go. All right, I want to show you this. Before we go, this is very important. I know we ended the stream already, but just listen, okay? Look, when you operate at a shame level, a guilt, or apathy, a grief, fear, all of these like low vibrational emotions, when these are the emotions you feel in your body, this is the same stuff that you radiate out. That's why when you see a person sometimes that comes to you and you just get like bad vibes, yeah, that's where it comes from. It's people operating at a low frequency. So what you want to do is that you want to take yourself out of this low frequency stuff. You don't want to display pride, you don't want to display anger, you don't want anything to do with these low emotional vibes. You want to be up here, okay? You want to be, I trust the universe to help me. Life is good. People are inherently good. Everyone is capable of learning. We can all share in happiness. Your joy is my joy. The good of mankind, salvation of humanity. So you can see, I hope you can see the compass that we try to navigate after. And I hope this will help you guys as well. You can just Google this, levels of consciousness. Like, this is not some shit I'm making up, okay? This is the universal truth that you can just look up, because this goes back centuries, okay? This is older than Christianity. This is older than all of the religions and so on. This goes way back, okay? So have a look at this, levels of consciousness. You can achieve this. And I'll see you guys next week. Take care.